let's talk about books. Growing up as a child, I was read to, I read to other people as soon as I was able. I think that my earliest remembrance of reading was when I read Junie B. Jones, but I know I was read to before that. Junie B. Jones by Barbara Park was one of my favorite books growing up because I have been the youngest my whole life, well, up until I was 13. That's when we adopted my little sister. But growing up being youngest, I really resonated with a lot of what Junie had to say about pesky older siblings. I remember there was a good portion of my childhood where every night my dad would read to me a little snippet of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe series. So we read Voyage of the Dawn Treader. These are all by C.S. Lewis. Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Oh gosh, why is it the only one I can think of right now? There's a lot more, and we read all of them, except for the very, very last one. I remember being a small child and discovering Where the Sidewalk Ends by Shel Silverstein just on my bookshelf in my room. And I was like, what is this? And it was like a late night, aka probably like 9 o'clock, where I didn't want to go to bed, but I had been told to go to bed. So I just remember staying up super late, like literally under my sheet with a flashlight, total TV picture perfect moment of me reading Shel Silverstein, which I think really affected my creativity because I remember every time I would read that book, I would then create something like an artistic response. So I absolutely love Shel Silverstein. I would love to pick his brain. I don't even know if he's still alive, but when I was in middle school, I decided that I hate reading. And then Rick Gordon, that genius man, wrote the Percy Jackson series, which I was obsessed with. And totally got back into reading, read a ton of other books about Greek mythology just because that topic in and of itself, because of Rick Gordon and the Percy Jackson series, made me just love reading again. There's this book called Bartholomew's Journey, and despite my best efforts, I cannot find the author's name. I read Bartholomew's Journey with my entire family every night for this thing that my family does called Advent. A lot of other families do it, but it's just like leading up to the Christmas season. My family would meet together every night and we would read a little bit of Bartholomew's Journey, and it happened every day for a good month, and then we read it like 3 years in a row, and so it was just like a big family-wide read aloud. And I remember the way that my sister read it, just with her voice inflection, like interested me so much because it was like, this is what I told my dad. It's like watching TV with your ears. So, yes, I remember that very well. So, Narnia, Shel Silverstein, Where the Sidewalk Ends, Junie B. Jones, Bartholomew's Journey, and Percy Jackson. These are the books that have made my childhood. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.